Hello there, Craig Blackman here with thoughts and ideas for Indy 500 qualifying in the future. For the racing fans that did watch Indy 500 qualifying this year, it was very exciting, very suspenseful, and at the end, we had James Hinchcliffe miss the race. Pretty crazy stuff. A multiple time IndyCar winner, a former pole sitter at the Indy 500, bumped out of the Indy 500. Very heartbreaking. I shed a few tears because of it. Now, my question is, did James Hinchcliffe have to be bumped? And my question, or my answer to that is no, he didn't. Here's what the Aero Electronics team should have done to prevent getting bumped from the Indy 500. Now, for racing fans, y'all probably already know the answer to this. You have your own idea of an answer. I'm just sharing it for the sake of this video. So, James Hinchcliffe. He was the first, from what I heard. I didn't watch all qualifying because I had to work. I caught the last hour. From what I heard, qualifying had a shower that day. Track was wet, obviously. You have to dry the track. James Hinchcliffe was the first car out after the track got dry. This is important. He said it's time. Everybody had a guaranteed qualifying attempt. At that moment, after he took his attempt, what should have happened was he should have been prepared to bump his way back in the field. Okay? Because in the last few years, the Indy 500 has only had 33 entries. There hasn't been a bump day in a while. Older people or longtime members of the IndyCar world, be it in the series or fans, understand that when you qualify for the Indy 500 and there is a bump day, you should always be prepared to qualify multiple times. In the past, this was a common occurrence, but in recent years, you don't see that much anymore. So, I think what happened, the first mistake Smith Peterson team made was they made an attempt and they didn't have that sense of urgency. We need to requalify. We need to be prepared to qualify. They thought their speed was good enough to get in. And when you have a bump day, you don't know what's gonna happen. You never know. You never know. You never know. You may get bumped out and you may have to be ready to bump your way back in the field. If you're caught with your pants down, you're caught unprepared to do this, to bump your way back in, time runs out as it did for James Hinchcliffe, and you missed the race. He didn't even get a chance at a second attempt, even though on when he was starting his second attempt, he had to come back in because of a tire issue. They wasn't quick enough in to get to the line, to get ahead of Pippa Man to make their a second attempt to get themselves in the show. So that's the first thing. The sense of urgency to requalify. That's first thing. Second thing, I think may have been a lack of veteran leadership, veteran members of his crew. And I'm gonna mention, and this may be unpopular, I'm gonna mention Lena Gade. And even though Lena Gade is one of the best in her field, this is for her first Indy 500. She didn't completely understand the concept of qualifying, in my opinion. I think if you had a different engineer there who have done some Indy 500s over the years and have been in some bump days, that engineer, he or she, would have told Hinch, we need to have this car prepared to requalify. Would have told the team, get this car ready to go back out. And I don't care if the speed is good enough or not. We need to be ready to requalify. So I think that's the second mistake that was made there. Third mistake was not understanding the rules. This year, qualify ended at 5:50, not 6 o'clock, which was, from what I hear, an ABC request, which was pretty stupid on their part, but it's ABC. They're out of IndyCar racing after the duel in Detroit this year. This is their last year. They're not exactly giving IndyCar its just due. They were just trying to get off the air by 6. But because of that, teams, drivers need to know what time qualifying ended. I knew it was ending at 5:50, but I did question how come it didn't end at 6. Should have ended at 6, but that's not an excuse. You need to know how much time you have. You go into the gun, and you try to be the last car out there before qualifications end. You need to be prepared. Everybody thought on team, he even thought, oh, well, qualifying at 6, so I got plenty of time. You didn't have plenty of time. And because of that, you missed the show. So you have that. Now, flip side to this. How can qualifying be easier in future years? Because I think that was an issue. Qualifying was very confusing this year. Didn't make a lot of sense. I won't go into all the details. Racing fans, IndyCar fans know what the qualifying procedure was and how bizarre it was. So here are my ideas, my suggestions to how to make qualifying easier. And on top of that, how Hinchcliffe could have made the show. Number one, there should not be 2 qualifying lines. There should only be 1. Here's how qualifying needs to work. 1 line. You make your blind draw for your primary and your T car. There's 1 line. Everybody gets a guaranteed attempt first time around. You get your chance to qualify. You go ahead and go. But there's just 1 line. Here's why it's just 1 line. If you get back in line, you're in line, you must withdraw your time. If you're in line, you withdraw your time. No exception. You withdraw your time to prevent what happened this year. Because there was 2 lines. 2 lines. There was 1 line for drivers to withdraw their time if they got bumped, and there was another line where you could improve your speed from your first attempt or previous attempt. But if that speed wasn't quicker, that time, your initial time, your first time that you posted, was not withdrawn. I found that very confusing. So there's 1 line. If you're in line, you withdraw your time. You don't go in that line unless you are prepared to withdraw and requalify. Now, that leads me to my second point, which is how pole day and bump day should be done. Saturday is pole day. That is pole day. It's traditionally pole day. It's always been that way. Here's how it should be done. Everybody tries to qualify first day barring weather. There's weather, that's a whole other situation, which I'm not going to get into in this video. But say it's perfect conditions. You qualify. Everybody's going to qualify on that Saturday. Everybody gets a guaranteed attempt and it's unlimited attempts. Go out there as much as you want. That's something I did like, that you can go out there as many times as you like to qualify. Gives you a chance to make the show on the first day. Now, here's my big change. Fast 9 shootout will start on Saturday. After qualifying's over at 6 o'clock, normal qualifying, you will have an hour for the Fast 9 shootout. So you're going to have your Fast 9 shootout on the Saturday from 6 to 7 o'clock. One attempt for the pole and to set the first 9 cars on the grid. I think that is fair. I think that's exciting. I think that brings a lot of people out to the speedway. It's like, and it sets the stage for Sunday, bump day. So Saturday, everybody gets their free attempt. You get unlimited attempts. We qualify till 6. At 6 o'clock, we then get ready for the Fast 9 shootout, which will be until 7 or a little after 7, because I think we're going to, no, you're not going to do blind draw. You're going to do the inverted order, slowest to fastest from provisional qualifying that day. So now, yes, Saturday out the way. Now let's do Sunday, which is that's the big one. Sunday will be traditional bump day. Now the first 9 cars have been set. If you get into Fast 9, your time is secure. You're locked in. You can't be bumped out of those positions. So you're then qualifying for 10 to 33. Now, this is where James Hinchcliffe could have qualified through my suggestion, through my idea, which they've done in the past, I believe, but we'll talk about that later. Saturday, you don't set the field, the whole field. You only set in the first 9 cars. Sunday, you set the rest of the field. Now, Sunday is interesting because here's how it's going to work. You will have 3 attempts. 3 attempts. Classic Indy 500 qualifying procedure. You will get 3 attempts to qualify. The whole day is open for qualifying. If there's nobody in line to qualify, it will be a practice day. Drivers can go out there, get their laps in, do some work. If you're already in the show, or you want to improve your time, or teams are trying to bump their way in, they can find that extra speed. Okay. Also, it will go till 6 o'clock local time. You get 3 attempts, and this is important because I feel like unlimited attempts should be reserved for teams that get in on Saturday. You have the opportunity, as many attempts as you like, to get yourself in and secure yourself in the race. Sunday, you get 3 shots. If you don't make it, tough luck. Okay? Which goes to my next point, which is just because you have more than 33 cars does not mean everybody should be able to qualify. As David Land has mentioned, the Indy 500 is the last race you qualify on merit. It's the last race you actually have to qualify based on speed, and you're not going to get in because you're a champion of the Indy 500 or the series, IndyCar series, or you're champion somewhere else, or you want a big race somewhere else, or there's provisionals, or a charter system, or any of that nonsense. It's the fastest 33 cars, which, I mean, you can also buy your way into the field, if you're desperate. But for the most part, it's the fastest 33 cars. And that's the way it should always be. That's what makes Indy 500 qualifying so entertaining. It's and when you have a bump day, it is one of the most exciting moments in all of sports, in my personal opinion. So you have that. So that's that's my thoughts on Indy 500 qualifying. My thoughts on James Hinchcliffe, and I think if we go to this system I've mentioned in this video, I think it gives everybody a fair opportunity to make the race. Now, if you just don't have the speed, you don't have the speed. That's Indy sometimes. You know, this happened to the best of them. Good drivers and good teams have missed this race. A lot of champions have missed this race. So you just got to take it like a man or a woman and just take it in stride and learn from it. Let it be a learning experience. Grow from it. And you move on. You come back next year hungrier to make the race. Thank you for listening to me. I hope y'all watch this video. I'm wanting to do more. I wanted to talk more about racing in general here. Um, Appreciate this. Hope to do another one real soon. Thank you.